impromptu for. So I'm here with hopefully a quickish vibe session because it's thundering, y'all. And there's these big storm clouds. I'm gonna just let y'all see what I'm working with over here. So yes, but I got a little bit of covering, so as long as the wind ain't blowing, I'm here. But yes, I'm back with another vibe session. This vibe session is a bit delayed, but the messages is still there. Oh, this is the vibe session for the full moon in Capricorn. I am recording this, and the new moon in Cancer done already passed. But look, y'all, the message is gonna get it. Y'all gonna get it regardless. Y'all heard the music, okay? So I'm gonna get straight into it. The full moon in Capricorn, it was on a moon's day, Monday, June 29th, 2026. It was a 9-day for my numerology folks. When I tapped into the energy, when I was tapping into the energy, there were some flies around me, but they weren't necessarily active. And I have it in my notes. I have flies on the wall and flying monkeys. Okay. So full moon in Capricorn probably ignited the exposure of these motherfuckers. Sorry. About these beings and these entities that are, you know, just trying to see what the collective is up to. So yes, I also saw a burning X, crops and land on fire. I wrote this in my notes. So, with that being said, I know that the Canada wildfires the smoke is spreading into America. So shout out to my sister girls and just anybody that's dealing with that, you know. Detroit specifically, shout out to my sister girls there. Just Michigan, you know, y'all, it's getting handed to y'all. I'm not gonna lie. That cloud is so dark over there. But I'm good. We gonna keep going. I cleared my memory for this and everything. We're going. So yes, it was a 9-day. Shout out to my sister girls and brother boys. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Shout out to my people in and from Michigan. Shout out to my people that are just going through it in general. You know, because Michigan, they kind of have heavy cases of the cyclopsoriasis. But yes, just going through it. Like, we're literally living through revelations right now, y'all. Like, how do y'all feel about that? We're literally living through the biblical end times. This shit's nuts. It's kind of lit, though. I figured my outfits would be cuter. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm not going to tell no lies. But fuck it. We ball. And I'm here. Alright. I also wrote the dog days. The dog days of summer. The dog days of summer starts at the beginning of July. Low-key, I think it starts at the end of June. So, end of June, July, and like the first half of August is considered the dog days. I've said this in another vibe session, but the dog days of summer is when our sun and the star constellation of Sirius are lining up. And I guess the peak is on the Lionsgate portal 88. Don't get me to line. But I know that the dog days are connected to the Sirius constellation, which is, I believe, shaped like a dog. And it's connected to the doggone tribe. Y'all tap into that. Thunder. Y'all know that song? Thunder in the lightning. Chink, chink, chink. Banger. Shout out to them for making that song. It's very fitting right now. Alright. I think I got into it just because may not have time. I'll go ahead and give the numbers. master numbers 11, 22, and 33. So this is the full moon in Capricorn definitely was illuminating the full moon in Capricorn was definitely illuminating the genius potential. There we go. That's what was illuminated, because it's Capricorn. So just the new building, the new materials, the new structure. Okay, that Capricorn ruled by Saturn. Saturn's currently in Aries. So the new structure for our independence and for our sovereignty and the way the world is. Okay. But then I also got numbers 55, 66, and 99. I also channeled, 1212 is also a number sequence, but I also tapped into the date 1212, and I found out a lot, actually. So that is the feast day, the feast of Our Lady Guadalupe. So Our Lady Guadalupe, that is a Catholic. She's a Catholic saint, I believe. And don't get me to line, but I know about my girl Lady Guadalupe because she be on my candles. Period. Love her. So December 12th is the feast of Our Lady Guadalupe. It's the Jamhuri Day in Kenya. I'm not gonna lie, I read it that whenever I took these notes, but I don't remember what it is in actual celebration of. But then I also 12/12, December 12th, is also the International Day of Neutrality. Again, I didn't write down any extra notes, but I thought all of that was interesting because I didn't know that, but especially the International Day of Neutrality. And that day was made by the United Nations, the UN. Okay. Oh, and the full moon peaked at 4:56 Pacific Standard Time. So 456, that staircase. And then so it was 6:56. So that's a number sequence too. 6:56 Central Standard Time, and then 7:56 Eastern Standard Time. So those are just some more number sequences, you know. But look, y'all, this storm looks like she's trying to roll on in, but still ain't no precipitation, so I'm still going. So let's get into it. The theme, these videos that I do and that I do post publicly, these videos are what I like to consider the theme, you know, and then I go into the extended and I break it down even more, you know, how the energies are specifically affecting us as a collective. So if you're into that, definitely tap into my Ko-Fi, because I'm trying to get her together. Look, I'm trying to get so many things together at once, and I don't even know what to say. I guess I'm making progress, you know. I'm trying to not be hard on myself. So without further ado, let me get into the mensajes. Okay, all these burgers. So, the theme of this full moon, the full moon in Capricorn 2026, we got Let It Be. And you see that blue, and if you associate the colors with the chakras, oh, I just seen the lightning. And look at this. That kind of looks like lightning striking that. Let It Be. It's blue, so we got throat chakra action, just those upper chakras. Look at all these goddamn flies, okay? Y'all gonna see me lose my mind. I just don't like being bothered. It says, if you need to solve a problem, ask yourself, what is the simplest way to proceed? When you call forth the simplest path, it appears, and vice versa. Damn, y'all ain't got my books out here. I'm finna go grab them. So I'm gonna hit pause. Got my books, y'all. So we have Let It Be. Because I'm trying to get better at having, you know, so you guys know what to expect. So we have Let It Be, Yarrow, Harmony, Sage, Blessing, 10th House, Authority. And then we have Sun, Shine. So what do I get from this? these fucking bugs, bro. And then, so we have let it be. If you need to solve a problem, ask yourself, what is the simplest way to proceed? And then we have 10th house, which is ruled by Capricorn. And then we also have illumination. Let me just go with what I was saying. Go the way that I was going. So we have let it be. We got throat chakra. We got some crown chakra. Some third eye chakra. We got it all. So again, those upper chakras. And what did I say at the beginning? The potential for genius is being illuminated, exposed. Well, was exposed. But yet, we have to understand that these lunation cycles last 6 months. So, we already made it from the new moon in Capricorn to the full moon in Capricorn. So, this cycle is leading us back to the new moon in Capricorn during Capricorn season. So, during this phase, you know, our genius, the potential for us to be a genius is being exposed to us. And one of the ways that we express our genius is through authority. But let me get there. When you call forth the simplest path, it appears, and vice versa. Cool. And then we got yarrow and sage. Harmony and blessing. And this is the theme. And both of these cards are 6. 6 has to do with the home, harmony, just domestic, family, that realm of life. Very Cancerian themes if I'm gonna be all the way honest with you. This is what sign was Venus in on June 29, 2026? Venus was in Leo. So what is it in now? Is Venus still in Leo? No, Venus is in Virgo now. So at the time, Venus was in Leo and now it's in Virgo. Just Venus energy in general. Venus touches on what we find beautiful, what we find value in, what we spend our money on and why. So the fact that it's in Leo, it was in Leo when the full moon was at its brightest. The full moon in Capricorn. Venus was in Leo. So the harmonize. Oh yeah. Oh gosh, you guys. But yes, let it be. We have all these upper chakras. You have to harmonize it with the heart. Okay. And Leo rules the heart. These bergs. Leo rules the heart. So the theme of the full moon in Capricorn is to harmonize ourselves with the heart, which I also feel like helps in calling forth the simplest path. If I'm looking, y'all, I'm just trying to pay attention to the weather because it's starting to pick up. But I'm gonna read about yarrow. Okay, upright, equilibrium, balance, discernment, nourished psychic shield, divinatory empathy, sensitivity. And then reversed, imbalance, emotionally drained, lack of boundaries, overly sensitive, self-critical, nearing burnout. All right, collective. All right, collective. That's why we have to call for the simplest path. Okay, Capricorns are known as the workaholics. Capricorn energy is known to burn themselves out. Okay, I've had a couple Capricorn friends or strong Capricorn placement friends who would burn their asses out, always trying to be perfect, always trying to show up as the most achieved being, and ain't nothing wrong with that. But boo sugars, y'all gotta rest too. Y'all do. Yeah, the storm's coming in. We all need to start harnessing in on this energy of the storms. That's another thing that I'm just gonna say. Like, there's a lot of powerful obviously there's a lot of powerful energy in storms, and now that it is storming now, I'm just starting to wonder if that's why I've been feeling so fired up lately. Because like today, like since last night, I've just been feeling fucking fired up, and I've just been having to work at not putting like old shit, letting old stuff piss me off, and just allow myself to feel fired up so I can use the energy for whatever I gotta do next and not be depleted when the time comes. But alright, guidance. If you're feeling emotionally drained or too sensitive for today's world, it's time to set solid boundaries to regain balance. Use your empathic abilities. I know this wind is probably loud. Use your empathic abilities as grounding cords to your psychic powers and divinatory skills. And where are they housed? In our upper chakras. Our empathic abilities and our psychic powers. Allow your sensitivity to be a filter for what is allowed within your psychic field and what isn't. Like the magic of the white heron, move slowly with precision as you navigate emotional waters. Cancer season. Lord. Heron teaches us the power of self-reflection, the moon. And we're getting to that with this card, with the Sage card. Self-reflection as a way to transcend judgmental projections and low self-worth. Draw clear boundaries and examine yourself from a detached perspective. Don't blame situations or others as a reason to remain stuck. Yarrow's white light teaches us the power of shielding while remaining gentle in the process of self-discovery. All right, so we're calling forth the simplest path of self-discovery. That's the path that we're calling forth, which makes sense. Excuse me, I've been so goddamn burpy. I don't like that. Oh no. I might not be able to read all this because it's ripped up. Sage. Upright. We have blessing, purification, invocation, sacred something, spiritual cleansing, reassembling emotional body, maybe. Mystical sight. Reverse. Unable to receive, emotional narcissism, escapism, invalidation, inner division, lack of willpower, unhappiness. That's crazy, because ain't this card about willpower? No, the last vibe session I did was about willpower. Oh, no, it's raining, y'all. I'm gonna read this real fast, and then I'm gonna switch the locations. Guidance. Sage, like the moon card in the tarot, is the great portal to the river of life. The silver light of Sage grants us the power of insight while we navigate the darkest hours. The lunar powers of Sage remind us to look inward to receive visionary insight from spirit. Don't get overly consumed. Oh goodness. The emotional something play. Allow it to pass like the clouds. Okay, y'all. Talk to you in a minute. Alright, y'all, I'm back. And I was reading about Sage. I do remember that. Back indoors. It's raining or whatever. I think, don't get overly consumed by the emotional something play. Allow it to pass like the clouds. Draw upon your the inner reserves of your psyche to navigate darkness and become keenly aware of what is causing inner disturbances, fear, and unhappiness. The initiation that you are undergoing, although familiar, is a great something. Feel yourself cease and reassemble as you something illusions to unearth hidden truths. Surrender. Don't stand in your own way. Allow the silvery white light of Sage to shatter illusions as you undergo, I'm just gonna make something up, a deep awakening. Because we are on a path to self-discovery. Okay. So we have the moon and Jupiter. Close the goddamn windows. I'm so tired of humaning right now. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry for snapping y'all. But we have Sage, and one of the words was invocation, and we already got the throat chakra. So the collective may be becoming more aware of the ability to speak things into existence. And 144. That reminds me of the way that, now this is some super deep cosmic quantum whatever information, but sound is the building blocks of our reality, is what I was getting to. And the fact that one of the keywords was invocation, and then that's what it looks like they're doing. And then we already tapped into the upper chakras, the crown chakra and up. So yes, speaking things into existence. You know, that Capricorn energy is a very tangible energy. It's the material. So, full moon in Capricorn. The more energy that's released and surrendered, you know, we're surrendering the things we no longer need within our psyche. We're clearing up space. That space is filled with light. That light is integrated into stronger, more potent abilities. And these abilities have to be harmonized with the heart. Because what was I going to say? Because this is the moon and Jupiter. So that's a slippery slope. You could easily slip into too much real quick. Jupiter being that planet of indulgence, you know. And Jupiter's in Leo now. I believe Jupiter was in Leo then too. What sign was Jupiter in on June 29, 2026? Oh, on that same day, on the same day as the full moon in Capricorn, Jupiter entered Leo and Venus was in Leo. Okay, so that heart energy, yeah. It all, and then all this lightning and the strikes and things, yes. So this is like a breakthrough. You know, the light is breaking through, so you can discover more about the self and realize the self is very powerful. Sound is the building blocks of our reality. We all have a voice. Okay? So, as we discover more about ourselves, we remember all these ancient advanced technologies that the human body was capable of, and then as life became more dense, it got blocked. Okay, then the blockages are bouncing. I'm gonna let y'all know. And blockages are like wet blockage. I don't got time to keep being here. Okay. And then we get to the 10th house, with the keyword being authority. Capricorn rules the 10th house. Okay. So, what has been illuminated is authority. Okay, y'all, and I'm gonna tap in. America, the United States of America, the corporation, celebrated its 250th birthday on July 4th. Okay. That is a 10th house perfection year. Okay. So, with that being said, the United States of America Corporation, their authority is on full blast. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there, just so it'll be on y'all's mind. I'm going to plant the seed that 2026 and then all the way until July 3rd, 2027, the United States of America, the corporation, is navigating a 10th house perfection year, meaning the year is heavily focused on the United States authority and reputation, career, public facing self, and public facing problems, just anything public. The United States of America, like, we're gonna be on that. Okay. I plan to go deeper. I don't know if I'm gonna make another channel or if I'm just gonna put it on my Ko-Fi. I haven't really decided how I'm gonna organize it yet, but I'm just gonna start breaking things down. So we can be more in tune with the cycles that are trying to siphon from us and siphon from the future. Okay. But anyways, as we harmonize our upper chakras with the heart chakra, the bridge, our spiritual authority just naturally increases. So basically, with more power is more responsibility. So don't be surprised if between now and the new moon in Capricorn, your authority is tested. When in reality, it's just like you're just formulating it and you're materializing it into the world. You're materializing your upgraded spiritual authority into the world for all to see. Us as a collective, we are shining brighter. We are unlocking more and more of our innate internal human body technology. You see, Sister Girl, she got light coming out of her hands. She's got it coming at the top of her head. Her dress is lighting up. Them clouds in the back look like them clouds outside. But yes, we have sunshine. It's a number 1. It says light, passion, illumination, motivation, don't dim. Okay, and of course, the light, as they say, the light has already won. Okay, but just considering the mechanics of the reality we live in, it's gonna take a minute for us to see it materialize. It's just like when you get pregnant. Like, the day you conceive, like, no, you don't just automatically have a baby. You have to go through the process. So basically, that's where we're at. We're still in the womb. We're still doing our thug fizz. But I guess we're being born too, though. Like, we've developed, and now we're about to be born because we're starting to see the light. And that light is the light of Earth when you come out of your mom's body. So yes, a rebirth. And, just because I love y'all, I usually would save this for what I call the extended, but for the F of it, and just because I was already speaking on it, and that's what I love about doing the theme and then doing the extended, the intentional full moon release. You know, I asked, what do we intentionally need to release as a collective for this full moon? And we got Pluto, keyword rebirth, and Rue, keyword protection. I'm gonna read those. Pluto. Pluto is the modern ruler of Scorpio and is a powerful planetoid that takes 248 years to traverse the zodiac. Pluto and Charon, the largest of its 5 moons, circle each other and create a binary system. Excuse me. Most myths connected to Pluto, god of the underworld, have 2 major characters. The one who descends into the underworld to return reborn, hence why we're here, hence why we are literally living through the biblical revelations right now. Because we have descended into the underworld to return reborn, and the one who either sends souls down to the underworld or greets them on arrival. From Pluto and Proserpina to Seth and Osiris and Inanna and Ereshkigal, both sides of these myths, the use and abuse of power and the willingness to be reborn again into their empowered divine self, describe Pluto's influence. Pluto was also lord of mining, retrieving valuables from deep within the earth. And we already got Venus. Retrieving valuables from deep within the earth, deep within ourselves. Action. Pluto calls for 3 actions. First, to dig deep. Second, to be willing to transform. And third, to use power wisely. Pluto calls you to drill down, dig up what is worthy and bring it to the surface. Then rinse away the dirt and uncover the gold. Bring up riches whenever you dig deep into your soul's work. Notice obsessions and neuroses. These signs of stress must be listened to and healed, but don't allow them to control you. Pluto reminds you that you can't hold on to the past, but you can take care of yourself. Heavy on that. To begin this work, you may have to let go of an old form, as a caterpillar must become a butterfly. Mourn what you've left behind, then get curious about what is about to arrive. Examine the power dynamics of the situation. Neither give yours away nor misuse your power over others. Step out of a power struggle and into self-empowerment. Challenge. Pluto's shadow side can bring up obsession, depression, mortality, and grief. Pluto plays hardball, so get a guide for this realm if needed. Spiritual gift. Pluto asks you, in the face of life and death, why are you here? This isn't a rhetorical question. Strip down to the essentials and come back to what really matters to find the answer. Let it be. When you call forth the simplest path, it appears, and vice versa. If you need to solve a problem, ask yourself, what is the simplest way to proceed? So what is the problem that needs to be solved? Not getting caught in the darkness of the underworld. Remembering why we have chosen to navigate the underworld. Okay, and that is what intentionally we need to release out into the ethers. Okay, I know why I'm down here in the underworld, and I promise you it's not to get taken over by it. I'm here to strip down to the essentials and come back to what really matters. That's what I'm here to do. Okay. Do y'all want me to read Yarrow and Sage? I think I already read Sage. Should I read Yarrow? I think I already read Yarrow. Yes, I did already read Yarrow. So yes, I'll read the 10th house. No, I need to read Rue. There we go. My mind was all over the place. Rue. Rue. Upright, psychic shield, auric protection, angelic wisdom, banisher of darkness, restoration of vitality. Reversed, spirit possession, parasitic energies, anger, self-criticism, judgment, self-hatred. Sheesh. So yes, these are the neuroses that it was talking about. These obsessions and these neuroses that cause stress. Spirit possession, parasitic energies, anger, self-criticism, judgment, self-hatred. That's what we're releasing, okay? Because we have fucking divine authority. We're tapping back into... What? Get in, loser. We're tapping back into our ancient body technology. Fuck you mean? It says, Rue is said to be the herb of angels, granting us the ability to channel the angelic realms. It emanates golden energy like a lion, powerfully protecting and pouring light into any space that it inhabits. Resilient like the wide array of solar herbs, it grows generously and abundantly, thriving in all kinds of terrain, demonstrating its strong life force and vitality. Rue has landed in your cards today to remind you to protect your aura from lurking and possessive spirits that may be consuming your energy. Don't allow parasitic negativity to darken your field, which can create perpetual states of self-criticism, self-doubt, or self-hatred. Call upon Rue's power to shield your body with angelic forces and restore radiance, vitality, and love in your atmosphere. So yes, under this full moon in Capricorn cycle, we are protecting our rebirth. We are protecting ourselves while we navigate the birth canal. Okay. And Pluto's in Aquarius. And Rue is associated with the sun and Pluto. So yes, we are protecting our solar logos as it's transforming. Again, tap into my Ko-Fi, 1616. Tap into my Ko-Fi because I would like to have a safer space to, but you can find the same videos on YouTube already. So I just need to get more organized, you guys, and I would gladly talk about these things. Okay, but me, just the type of person I am, I guess it's because my moon's in the 6th house or something. I don't know. And I have a 7th house stellium in Virgo, so that might have something to do with it as well. But, you know, I don't like to talk for my health. Okay, I know I need to use my voice, create my reality on these things and all that, and I would love to tap in with y'all, but I don't talk for my health. So I just, as you guys, I hope if you're paying attention, you know, I'm trying to expand. I'm trying to reach more of, you know, my peeps, you know? So yes, I got to get more organized. Stay tuned, because I would love to talk about these things. And it needs to be talked about, because like I said, we are tapping into our ancient body technology. That's exciting. Okay? Because what I'm not going to keep doing is, I'm not about to fake like I'm impressed by all these technological advances. Because how advanced are they if it takes away from the earth? But let me not get off on a tangent, y'all. We have reached the end of this vibe session, and what are we taking away from it? We are choosing the simplest path to self-discovery. The simplest path to self-discovery is allowing the self to be reborn into the light that the sun gives us. Okay? And like I said, stay tuned as I get more organized, and we'll talk even deeper about what it actually means to tap into our ancient body technology. Okay, so we're at the end. We are shining as the divine authorities that the angels and our spirit teams and stuff have been training us to be for however long you've been training, and however long you've been in the underworld, mining for the valuables. Okay, it's time to shine, boo. It's time to shine. So, next up, we have a new moon and Cancer vibe session. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one, baby. Peace.